Hi friends, it's Ellen Gormley. Welcome back to my channel. So Theo is in the way. He's blocking the light, but today we're working on this motif shawl. So it's going to be a rectangular shawl. So I'm starting here at the point and working outward in motifs that join as you go. So I already have a bunch of motifs so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to go. I have four hanks of this universal yarn wool pop that I think I got from Love Crafts. The link is in the description below my video in the description. And it does not cost you anything to use my link, although I might get a little bit of a kickback. Anyway, it's this really gorgeous, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, almost silvery, and we've been talking about it a great deal on my morning 5-Minute Crochet podcast. The motif that we're using is actually called the Gray Square, and it is from my book, Marvelous Crochet Motifs. I think this book might be out of print. You might be able to still find it on Amazon. So it is this one, the Gray Square, from page 12 and 13. But I did change a few things, so as I am wont to do. So if you have this book, you might want to make a note that this is actually a double crochet here, so you might want to take a screenshot of that. And then here, there's a V-stitch that has 3 chains in the corners, but on this motif, I made them all exactly the same. So instead of 3, you just have 2 in that corner, the 4 corners. Okay, so you can take a screenshot if you want, since this is out of print. Let's get you a better view with those exceptions. Okay, so I do have one made of Dishy, Knit Picks Dishy, that the link for this is also in the description below for Knit Picks. So I don't recommend that you actually make the shawl out of this. This is worsted weight cotton. Cotton is not terribly forgiving. As you can see, it's kind of, I don't know, uneven. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for dishcloths and bibs and things like that, but maybe an amigurumi. But not really for a shawl, in my opinion. It's kind of heavy because it's cotton, but I wanted you to be able to see the stitch pattern a little bit better and to see the different rows. So I decided to do the rows in a different color so that you could see. Let me grab a piece of white paper. So you can take a screenshot of that if you want to, so that that's going to be our road map. When we get to the final round, I'll go ahead and pull out here and demonstrate it so you can see it on bigger yarn. But we are going to go ahead and get started. So with this wool pop yarn, I am using a size F 3.75 hook. And we are starting with a magic loop. And we will start with the middle of the circle, which is going to be a treble plus 2. So we're going to do a chain of 6, which is a treble crochet, which counts as 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 more for the. It's kind of like 8 V stitches out of trebles all the way around, sort of. Okay, so it's a treble, chain 2 all the way around for a total of 8. This beginning chain 6 counts as the first treble plus 2 chains. So now I'm going to treble again. This is an intermediate pattern. It's really not hard, but it is harder than some of the other ones we've done recently. So treble, chain 2. If you don't remember what a treble is, we're yarning over twice, inserting the hook in the magic loop, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I think I also have a little video that's just the magic loop if you need that. 1, 2. So we're just doing this treble chain 2 all the way around, and that is the lavender middle section here of the Dishy example. And Theo, I don't know if you can see him, his little shadow on the table. His little tail is right here. So, welcome, little Theo cat. Oh, he's just making himself all comfy. That's okay, as long as he's not stealing my yarn. See, there's his little hiney and his tail. As long as he's not stealing my yarn today, I am happy. I hope you are having a valuable and relaxing use of your day. You may have heard from the 5-Minute Crochet Podcast on most weekday mornings. A few weeks, I've been talking about this shawl for weeks. I wanted a kind of silvery, neutral shawl to go over a dress for a wedding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget to chain 2 and join in the 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaving the last 2 chains to be that chain 2 space. So here is what round 1 looks like. Okay, so that is this lavender round. So obviously the gauge is much bigger on this worsted weight because this yarn is more of a sport weight. Okay, so the next round is the mint green round, and it is V-stitches that are traditional double crochet, chain 2 double crochet in every one of the 8 spokes, separated by chain 2s. So that is important to note. We will do a double crochet, which is a chain 3 plus 2. So it's a double crochet plus 2 chains, so that's a total of chain 5 to begin this round. We will double crochet in the same stitch to make the V-stitch. Now that was the beginning one, so we don't have to do the rest of them like that. Matter of fact, the rest of them are going to be chain 2 in between the V-stitches. Then we're doing the traditional V-stitch in the next treble, which is double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Now we're separating these V-stitches with a chain 2, so I'll chain 2 again. And we're doing this traditional V-stitch in each of the spokes around. And the spokes, I mean the spokes of the wagon wheel, which is the center of this motif, which are made of treble crochets. Okay, so just doing those V-stitches around and skipping the chain 2 spaces. I think by making this motif all in one color rather than multiple colors, it's a lot more lacy and has an all-over fabric look to it. Where in the 2 colors, boy, it really looks a lot different, doesn't it? And I will show you, these are join as you go. So when we get there with the end of this motif, I will join it to the piece that I already have started. So as I was saying, the 5-Minute Crochet Podcast is most weekdays. I'm kind of adjusting the schedule, or have adjusted the schedule by the time this airs, so that Monday, Wednesday, it's at a couple minutes before 9 a.m. Eastern. Tuesday, Thursday, it's a couple minutes before 8 a.m. Eastern before I start my workday. And then Friday is kind of different depending on whether or not we have doctor appointments and different things. So sometimes that's at 8 a.m., sometimes that's at 11 a.m., sometimes whatever. So I usually try to tell you on Thursday what it's going to be. But anyway, you can always catch the replay. Okay, so here we've got V-stitches, which is the traditional double crochet chain 2 in each of the trebles all the way around. This is what we've got so far. And I chained 2 there so I didn't forget, and now I'm going to join in the 3rd chain of that beginning chain 5 to join that finishing of round 2. Now round 3 is a lot of fun. Round 3 is traditional V-stitches, 1 in each double crochet all the way around, and we're not putting the chain 2s in between the V-stitches. So we're going to, again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a double crochet plus 2, double crochet in the same spot. That makes that beginning V-stitch. We're not chaining 2 on this round, so we are now on the lavender round. Okay, so V-stitch with a chain 2. Okay, so a V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch. Now this is one of the first variations from the book, by the way. So the book, I had designated 4 of these V-stitches equidistant from each other to indicate that that would be where the corners were and I made it a chain 3 V-stitch instead of a chain 2 V-stitch. But on this retelling of the story, I've decided to just make these V-stitches the same all the way around instead of adjusting for 4 corners. So you can do what you want. You can either follow the book or you can follow the video, but just to let you know that they are different. And it's really just, I can't even remember when I wrote that book, 2016, something like that, 2017. And it's just change of preference. I just don't mean to trouble. Look, yarn over once. I just decided to do it differently. It's experience, and I thought it would be easier for you when it's already an intermediate pattern. Don't chain 2, Ellen, in between. Make sure I didn't do that. Okay. As I am not paying attention, instead talking. Anyway, the 5-Minute Crochet Podcast each weekday morning is exactly what it sounds like. It's just 5 minutes of us chit-chatting before we start our days. I find that it makes my day start so much nicer on a positive note. It's nice to check in with people. And then if you miss it, you can always watch the replay, and you can also comment on the replay too. That is just fine. So I know it doesn't fit everyone's schedule. I was just trying to find a way to touch base with everyone on a more regular basis, since we all are busy, busy people. Okay, I'm almost getting there. I hope you're having a valuable and relaxing use of your day, as I see Hobie the dog getting into things he should not be getting into over there. And I hear the cat, Theo, playing on the scratching post. At least he jumped down and is not stealing my yarn. Okay, 1, 2. Getting so close. So close. All right, almost there. So since we are not chaining 2 in between the V-stitches, there's no need to chain 2 at the end of this V-stitch before joining. So here is where we are at this point. Okay, here's where we are at this point. And I will go ahead and join with a slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 5. And now we finally get to do this fun edging. It's the 4th round, and I will nestle it in between the ones that are already made. So I'm going to put it in this slot here. But I want to show you how to make the very first motif is without joining, obviously, and then every motif after that joins on to the previously made ones. And I put a stitch marker here in the very first one that indicates that it is the point or the bottom of the shawl, just to keep myself oriented. So I worked all of these rounds on the right side. So the wrong side you can see is a little bit different, but I do like all of my rounds. I don't turn my rounds. I work all my rounds on the right side. All right, I am going to slip stitch into that next V-stitch and chain 1, 2, 3, 4, which counts as the first treble of a corner. So the corner looks like this. So I am going to complete 4 trebles. That beginning chain 4 counted as the first one. Trebles, remember, are yarn over twice. I'm going to complete 4 separate treble crochets. There's no joining at the top. It's not a cluster. Now I'm going to make a picot, which in this case is a chain of 1, 2, 3, and then half double crochet in the 3rd one from the hook to make this little loopy loop right there. Loopy loop, fantastic. Okay. Loopy loop is not a technical term. Then 4 more treble crochets in the same corner spot. Now this side stitch is different from the book. So I think I had made it I made it actually harder. So the last change, I was trying to make it easier, and now I made it harder. So in the book, it tells you to take the next 3 V-stitches, 1, 2, 3, and you're placing 3 treble crochets together, decreased in all together. So one leg would go here in this V-stitch, one leg goes here in this V-stitch, and this one here, and they would all be trebles tied together as one big decrease. Now I am doing that, only the middle one, because it's shorter on the space from the stitch to the edge of the motif. I'm making that one a double crochet. So I'm going to chain 3. That's this little space here. Chain 3. Now I'll do a 3 stitches together decrease, a treble in one V, a double in the next V, and a treble in the next V, and then they're all tied together. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this together. This is the most complicated, well, maybe the most complicated part. So yarn over twice. In the next available V-stitch, we are inserting the hook into that chain 2 space and working all the yarn over pull-throughs, except we're leaving one on the hook. Okay? Now we're going to yarn over once, and in the next available V-stitch, we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops one time, leaving 1 loop on the hook. Now yarn over twice, because the next available V-stitch, we're doing a treble in that chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Now we have all of these loops on the hook here, and we're going to yarn over and pull through everything all in one big swoop. And that makes that decrease here with a treble, a double, and a treble. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and start the next half of the next corner with the 4 treble crochets, completed treble crochet. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I dropped it. So when you're doing the very first motif, you're just going to continue just like you did here without joining. You're just going to make sure all the corners are exactly the same, all the sides are exactly the same as we just did. But after that very first one, then this is going to fit right in here. And so I need to join it here, 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 and here, and then finish out, okay? Because this is a join as you go. So it's kind of, I guess I could turn on another light, see if that helps a little. I don't know if that helps or not. Okay, so do you see where we're going? Do I need to road map a little bit more? How's that? Okay. So putting my hook back in here, I have my 4 treble crochets on this corner here. Now, when I'm joining the picot into this picot, this is what I'm doing. I am going to remove the hook from this motif, insert it into the picot of the previous motif, put it back on here, pull this through, and do a chain 1, 2, 3. And then in the 3rd chain from the hook, we will do that half double crochet. Okay, is that how I did it? You know, it looks a little lumpy. Another way to do it, and maybe the way I have been doing it, I'm not sure, is to go ahead and do the chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I like this way better. Then remove it from the hook, insert the hook in the previously made one, put it back on the hook, pull that chain through, then yarn over, and then do the half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook on the current new motif. That looks better. That's flatter. Okay, I think that's what I've been doing. Okay, so do the chain 3 first. We'll have another opportunity to do it here and here, so we'll do it again together. Okay, so don't forget your other 4 treble crochets to make up the corner. So back in the one we are working on, treble 1, treble 2, treble 3, treble 4. Now we will do our chain 3. Don't forget the chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we'll begin working on that long, wide decrease here and joining it there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a yarn over of 2, and in the next available V-stitch, I'm working that treble except for 1 yarn over. Then I'll do a double in the next V-stitch, yarning over and pulling through, but leaving the last loop on the hook. And then the final V-stitch, yarn over twice, treble, treble, yarn over, pull it all together, remove the hook, grab the tied together stitch here. And if you're confused which one, it doesn't really matter. One of the two there that's at the top of that stitch. Pull that loop through, and then we'll go ahead and pretend that other old motif is not even there and chain 3. But don't drop it. And if you do drop it, just pick it up again. Okay, 1, 2, 3 chains. Now we're ready to do the next corner. So don't use where the treble had just used that last V-stitch. Our corner is going to go in the next unused V-stitch. So yarn over twice. Remember, we're doing 4 completed treble crochets before we join. And I'm splitting the yarn a little bit. And one more treble for the first half of the corner. Now, we decided that we were going to chain 1, 2, 3. Okay, remove the hook. Now find where things are gathered. Insert my hook into that picot group. Pull that loop through. And then yarn over. Let me center this more. Yarn over. And in the third chain from the hook, I'm placing, and I like to use the back ridge, back loop, back bump, whatever, and whenever possible, make the half double crochet. Okay, and then don't forget to do the other 4 treble crochets. Okay, 1, 2, yarn over twice, making 4 completed treble crochets before we, don't forget to join on the side. So we are joining on the corners and the sides of this motif. Okay, so here's where we will join, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We will make our entire side decrease stitch and then join it. So in the next available treble crochet, V-stitch, we will start the treble crochet. Then we will do a double crochet in the next V-stitch, but hold back 1 loop, treble crochet in the next V-stitch, but hold back 1 loop, and then yarn over and pull through everything all at once. Okay, grab it, don't let it slide out. Find the corresponding stitch on the previous motif. Pull that loop through. Now chain 3 for the side and work the next corner in the next available V-stitch that has not yet been used. So yarn over twice. And these are completed trebles. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. My yarn is starting to stick on my hook. I guess I should have turned on my overhead fan, but I wasn't thinking. Okay, good weather here in Ohio, though, as I am filming. A little humid, perhaps. Okay, so remember we are chaining 1, 2, 3 first, dropping the hook, finding the picot on the corresponding motif, putting the loop back on the hook, pulling that through the picot stitch. Oh, did I drop it? It's all right. Try again. Go fish. Hook that fish right on through and pull it up. And then yarn over and do the half double crochet in the third chain from the loop. however you want to do it. Just do it so that it is consistent. Then yarn over twice because we're doing 4 treble crochets, completed ones in that same corner. So friends, if you're finding this video and you're brand new to crocheting and you're like, oh my gosh, there is no way that I can do this, go look for the Extreme Beginner playlist because I show you everything down to how to hold the hook, how to hold the yarn, all of that stuff. Chain 1, 2, 3, as if a brand new person probably lasted this long. Okay, so we're finishing out this last side without joining because there's no need to. There's nothing on that edge yet. You can really make any project of any shape with this join as you go method, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the beginning treble, which was a chain 4. And then I'll fasten that off. You can make really any shape, but I am going to make this a triangular, I need sharper scissors, triangular shawl. So I have marked the point, which will be the middle of my back, the middle of my lower back, and I'll grow it out as much as possible until I run out of yarn. I hope you have a valuable and relaxing use of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.